Hello everybody, welcome to my new series here, the Frozen Outpost. So here we are in the ancient outpost that was just been discovered. So this outpost has been here for a very long time and been buried here in the snow. So right now we're up here in the command center. So you see a couple of chairs here, and this is looking out towards the front of the area. So let's go ahead and explore this a little bit, and then we'll get into what we're going to be doing here. So once we come downstairs, this is going to be more of the main level right here. So this is the door that heads outside. So we have this little corridor here, and then this will head outside to where our rover is. As you can see from this side, you can see the windows where we were up there, and see how it all this was covered up. So here we are. This would be considered the main level. So if we come into here, we have our living quarters. So we have a couple of beds, a couple of lockers, desk, and bookshelves. We have a nice little couch and a TV we can watch and settle down. We have a bathroom back up in here, so shower, sink, and all that good stuff. Have your privacy. And if we come out this way, we have our cargo container. This is the only cargo container we have in the outpost. Everything is connected to it. We come into this way. This is our mess hall. So we have our kitchen back here. We have chairs and stuff that you can sit. You can either sit and watch the butterflies over there, watch the butterflies and buds there. We have our aquarium over here, and then just a tree if you really just want to stare at the tree. So not much in here. And then over here is our medical room. So you notice the lights came on. So we have this medical room set up so when the door's shut, the lights will turn off to help try to save power and turn the med machine off. This will be kind of a hinder if we die. This won't be on, so we won't be able to spawn over here. So we're going to have to try to figure something out with that, or make sure we keep that door open when we leave, so we can spawn right there. So now let's come down here to the basement. Over here, before we get down, we have our server room. We have these lights set up the same way. Everything turns off when you're not in here. So when we shut the door, here, lights will turn off. Oh, we didn't shut it. Shut. There we go. Lights turn off, the screen turns off, everything goes dark. Try to save power. Then when we open the door, everything will come on. And then we come down here to the main basement. This is where all of our actual machines are that we have right now. So we have a basic assembler and refinery right here. We have an H2O2 generator, hydrogen tank, which is completely full. We have us an engine, 2 batteries, and then our shield generator right here, which is a large grid. So this is all shielded. Now, if you notice when we were outside, we didn't have any solar panels or wind turbines. So everything's running off of these 2 batteries. If the batteries do get to a certain point, the engine will run and use up this hydrogen. Once this hydrogen gets to a certain point, the H2O2 generator will kick on, and then we'll start eating some of the ice that's in there. And then once that ice gets down, if we come over this way, you notice we have us a drill out here, or a thumper. This thumper is just producing ice. So it'll mine up the ice and load it into the H2O2 generator. Nice little backup system. Now I say it's a backup system because vanilla ways, you could actually have that running and it would pretty much almost run this whole thing without any problems. But because I have no more free energy mods set in here, that means this engine right here cannot give enough power to charge these batteries and to run the H2O2 generator and everything else. So if this engine is running, we are producing power. And again, once this starts running, we're going to be producing more hydrogen to fill up the tank. But the process and the way everything's calculated, we actually will not be able to just run this by itself. The hydrogen, the H2O2 generator, and then the thumper down there is going to take more energy than it would to charge these batteries. So it gives us a little bit longer time to run everything, but in the end, we would run completely out of power. So we do need to keep that in mind and try setting up secondary energy systems. Besides that, that is our little outpost here. Not much, mainly just the main systems to get us going. Now with that, there is also a couple of mines, or what we call bunkers. So if we come over here to this desk, open it up, we come into this data pad, we have a GPS bunker. Oh, wow, this is in there, should have been deleted. But we have 5 bunker locations. Now each bunker location is connected to thumpers and a mine. So these are all buried, and all the thumpers and everything that needs to create the mine are actually inside the bunkers. So we're gonna have to go and cover all of these bunkers and set up the mines. Now a couple of other things that we have going on is that each mine site can only have 2 ores that are going to be processed. So the first bunker 1 is going to have iron and silicon. Bunker 2 is nickel cobalt. Concrete's going to be by itself. Magnesium is going to be by itself, and then we have a storage bunker. But let's go ahead and add all these to our GPS here, and then we'll go through each of these and start uncovering them and getting those mines set up. So with that all set up, let's go ahead and head on out and start locating these bunkers. We do have a couple of enemy mods up right now. More will be added on later once we start getting things set up. But I think it will be quiet this first little bit while we're trying to set everything up. I don't want to really start getting attacked and everything until I am a little bit more prepared. But let's go ahead and go to... Well, I think I'll go to the storage bunker first. So we'll go ahead and go and cover that one. Alright, so we'll head off this way to the storage bunker. Now, a couple of rules that I have going through this series is the first one is any type of rovers, so like the one that we see here, it's gonna have to be run with an engine. So you can hear the engine running in it now. Come up to here. So anytime this is running, the engine has to be running. It's the only thing giving its power. There are a couple of batteries in there just to run things when we're out of it, and to start the engine. So if you notice, when we hop out, the engine turns off. We hop back in, the engine starts up. So that's going to be one of the rules for any type of rovers that we make. So that's going to mean that we're definitely going to have to set up some type of refinery for ice to turn into hydrogen. And because the process is slower and costs more energy, we're going to have to build up like a big facility for it. We just can't put in a thumper and then do it that way. And then have that thumper also control a engine. So that's one of the things that we're going to do with this series. But here we are at the storage bunker. So let's go ahead and dig this out real quick. There we go, there's the door. Just dig up some of the snow here so we can get in here a little bit easier. We'll open this up. Turn on the lights. Alright, so here we are in the storage bunker. We have a couple of shelves here full of concrete. Then we got some power cells on this one. And then over here, these are the parts that make the shields work. So you need these to make shields. So that's why we have a whole bunch down here. The process to make them and the materials you need are a little bit more advanced than what we're going to have here at the start. So this way we can build stuff and make stuff that has shields, because there will be combat in this series. And then here we have some gravity components. Again, another thing that we need to make shields. And then here is the superconductors. So with all this, we should be able to make quite a few shields for any type of vehicles that we need. Plus we have another 5 more. So technically 4 if we want to keep this bunker shielded. The only thing is this bunker is only being run off this one battery right now. So if we turn the shields on with the lights and everything, it will drain this battery down a lot quicker than what it is right now. Right now, all the shields are off. So that's just something I need to think about later on. Or if I just try to get everything out of here and take it to the outpost. But that's going to be later on. Look here. So the first container here is going to have food. So we got all the seeds that we need. We don't have any meats, though. Oh, we do have some meat. No, that's a burrito. Yeah, I don't think I have any of the meats in here. So, we are going to have to deal with food and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to build a farm. And because of the world that we have here, no actual plants will spawn here. We need to make sure we have some seeds available so we can start building a farm. And the farm's going to have to be enclosed and all that. So we're going to have to worry about that. Because they won't survive out there in that cold area. Is that one going away? Yeah, it's going away. It's not going to bother us. So, that's another thing we're going to have to start and trying to get built up. Next, I have our weapons. So I have quite a few different types of weapons. A grenade launcher here. So that way I could come down here and grab some weapons if when we do start getting attacked, or if we want to go attack something. We do have a couple of weapons available right away. And then over here in this one, I have medical stuff and a hydrogen bottle. I'm going to grab that. We have some credits. Now, right now, the credits aren't going to be used for anything, but with the new update coming, we're going to test the credits out for the new economy system, which I'm hoping we'll be able to implement into this series and bring a little bit more activity and more things to do while we're here. But that's pretty much the bunker here. There's not much more that I want to do yet. I do want to get one of these shields and stick it on our rover, since our rover doesn't have one. So let's come out here and drill out the spot where I want to put this in. So I'm just going to cut this window out and then cut these two panels out right here. And then I can tuck the generator right down into here. Get it charged. I don't think I'm going to get attacked yet, but I want to go ahead and have this process in here. And the great thing about these generators here is because they use power cells, these power cells do not break down while you're grinding them down. So it'll be easy just to come through here, take all this out, and just transfer it without having to build more power cells. But I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over real quick. Alright, I got the shield generator in there. I built the rover back up, put the panels back in and the window in. So let's go ahead and head off to bunker number 1. Go ahead and close this down. And then we'll head off to our first bunker and then start building that mine up. And then we'll just keep going around until we get them all built up here. Come over here to our GPS. That one off. So we'll go to bunker number 1, iron and silicon. Just over this way. Now, one of the other rules or restrictions that I'm going to have in here for any type of flying vehicles, so anything that I'm going to personally fly that my character will get into, can only be done with one thrusters or one directional thruster. So where you have the aerodynamic mod in here, not the one that changes the physics, but the one that makes it so we can fly but not have to worry about heat and all that other stuff. So I do have those parts in here, so we'll be able to do that. The only exception we would have would be for helicopters. Helicopters can have more than one, since you can have the tail, but because we have the helicopter blades on it, that'll count for a helicopter. Any radio controlled drones or any drones that we're gonna have fly with us, those could be more than one direction. So that way we can have a little bit of help when I'm out here fighting. But here we are at this one. Let's go ahead and dig this one out here. So as you can see here, magnesium is also detected here. Because of our rule, we could only have 2 ores for one mining site. So that's why we're not also picking up magnesium with this one. And then with the thumpers that we're using, we're not using the normal thumpers, we have a filtered thumper. So that means I'm going to be able to put the thumpers anywhere in a certain area, and they'll be able to pick up the ores. So one of the biggest issues I had when I was building this is if we put a thumper down here and there's a ore site right underneath it, it would most likely pick up the ice before it would pick up the actual ore on the bottom, unless it was very, very strong and put it directly in the right spot. But because of the way this planet does its ores, so there's ores all underneath here, but we don't have any shaded out areas to show us where the ores are. It was hard to place them in the right direction or in the right area, and you never know if they're actually in the right area until you build them up. So I had to put it down, build it up to see if we had it. If not, tear it down and then move it a little bit in each direction. So instead of having to go through all that hassle, I did the one with the filter. That's going to make it a lot easier for these sites, but that also means that we can technically mine more than one ore with the thumper. So we could do multiple ores with the thumper, but that's where the rule is that each thumper can also only do one type of ore. And we'll show that to you here once we get this open. We'll go ahead and build the thumpers and have this mine site up and operational. So here is our underground bunker for the iron and silicon. As you can see, we do have a shield on for this site too. So anything connected to this bunker is going to be shielded. And we just have a small grid shield here. I think these are a little bit weaker than the bigger ones, and they don't take as much power, which is great because, again, there was no solar or wind turbines out here. All we have is one single battery right here. We have an H2 or a hydrogen tank here, and then we have the engine over here. So pretty much the same way the engine can help charge up the battery once it gets to a certain charge. I don't have any of that system set up here, so we'd have to do it manually. But again, the engine will not have enough power to actually mine and do ice to keep everything running. So we're either going to have to build secondary energy solutions up there, either wind turbine or solar, or we're going to have to keep feeding this thing gas, where we would have to have the gas refinery that we're going to need to build for the rovers anyways. But if we look in here, we can see that we already have the materials we need to finish building this mine back up. So we'll head back up. Well, we'll grab these first. So we'll grab these and then head back up here and then start laying the mine out. So you can see we have a pipe that comes out this way. Get our drill here. We dig up some more of this snow. Be careful, I don't have the shield on because I'm still trying to conserve power. We have a T that goes this way, so then let's dig this side out. And this should come up. Okay, we have a connector part up here, so this is where the thumper is going to go up here on this pad. Dig a little bit of this out. So one thumper will go here, and then we're going to have another one here on the other side. Pad, just dig it out enough so I can get the thumper on there. Alright, so now I'll just build this up here. I'm going to need a corner conveyor junction here. I'm going to put it in the reinforced just as a little bit more protection. We'll put our thumper right here. Now we're just going to use the regular thumper. We do have the advanced one, but we don't have the parts for that. That's going to take up more steel plate and everything. We have the basic one, which is smaller, and it acts more like a drill than thumping, so it shakes the whole base and everything. So we're going to go with the normal one, or with the basic one, I would say. There might be one more advanced than the basic, but we'll go with this one here. Connect it like that, and we'll do the same thing over here, and then our conveyor tube right there. Now let me go ahead and weld all this up. One side up, we'll go ahead and do the next side, and then we'll start programming these to how we need them to run. I do have meteors put in this series too. We should be kind of safe, especially the only ways that'll really hit us is if they're coming from that direction, coming towards the mountain. This mountain here will probably help with a lot of the meteors. They're coming up this way. Once we start getting this mine going out further out that way, though, it's going to be an issue too. But because we're going to have enemies, we're definitely going to have guns set up for meteors and for enemies. Let me go ahead and finish building this up. Almost done with this last one. Alright, that one's all set up here. I have to grab some more energy here in a few minutes, but we should be able to finish this up with what I got. So let's come in here into our settings. So you see we got both static drills here. If we come down here, we have a depth. So this will show us how far from each drill we have ores. So right now it's already scanned and we have ice, silicon, magnesium, and iron. But we want to bring the depth down. The smaller the depth, the less power it's going to take. So even if you're picking up ores that are within a 30 meter range of us, it's still going to use a lot more energy if you have the depth all the way up. So we can move it all the way down. We should have more than enough of the ores that we need here. I'll put the sound down. No matter, last time I did this, the sound didn't work, no matter what you had it at. But I'll keep it down just in case it does get fixed at some point, that we don't get our ears blown out. So we're still here. They're still scanning the area. We're going to want to change these to whitelist. Alright, so this one we still seeing ice, silicon, magnesium, and iron. So I'm going to turn this one to silicon. So we'll add that down here. So now it's filtered item, so we're only going to suck up silicon with that one. This one I'm going to do iron. We'll add that. And now we can go ahead and turn these on. We'll see if iron's coming in. It got picked up. Silicon's coming in and it got picked up, so those are working.
Energy
so let me
critical.
go ahead and turn those off now. Since we're only running off of that battery, I don't have a lot of power to run those. So I'm not going to run a whole lot of that right now. I didn't know I had 4. That's probably where my thing's filled up. I'm going to have to put those somewhere. And put that somewhere. But now that we got iron all set up, we could go ahead and head back out and head to the next one. So I'll close this off. I don't see us getting attacked anytime soon, so I'm not going to turn this shield on, but we will need to turn it on once we're ready and get it charged up. Because right now with it not being charged up, it's not going to be any use anyways. Maybe later on, I'll set up a system that if we detect any enemies nearby, I'll automatically turn the shields on. And then when they're gone, or we can manually turn them back off as a backup feature, so we're not constantly trying to run power down. Or that's a long-term goal. We're not going to be able to do that here right away. I'm just trying to get the mines up so we can really start getting in and building our base up here. Alright, so now we got that one. We'll go to nickel and cobalt next. So these two are going to be our main 2 mines, since these are the biggest or the most important ores that we need. The other 2 are going to be semi-important. The concrete one's going to be more important for us to be building our structures, and then of course the magnesium for the ammo and stuff. But we definitely need these 2 up and running so we can start building up the rest of everything else. So this one's going to be back this way. Here we are, bunker number 2. Go ahead, same process again, dig these up, build the mine up. All these bunkers are kind of similar. This one's a little bit deeper, but everything down here is exactly the same setup as in battery, hydrogen, and then regular generator. And I think all these tanks are 50%, or only have 50% in them. Yeah, they're only 50% full. And as you can see, we have all the parts like we did in the last one. So let me go ahead and grab these parts, and then I'll go ahead and build everything up top, and we'll do the same thing again. Everything's set up here. Let me go and program everything like we did in the other one. Make sure these are producing. Nickel's getting sucked up. So the nickel's not working. I'm going to see if I got one of those tubes wrong. Oh, I didn't finish it building that up. There we go. That's why the nickel wasn't working. Alright, so now those are all working. Let's head off to the next mine here. Now we do have a lookout tower that popped up back that way, so we're going to have to be worried about that. None of our mines, our bunkers, should be anywhere near that. So we're just gonna have to worry about that if we ever go out towards that direction, or if it starts sending anything to us. But that will be something that we can attack later on. But let me here to the next GPS location. The next one's gonna be the concrete plant. It's gonna be back behind us, it looks like. Alright, this one is probably going to be the closest thing that we have to the tower. This is going to be the concrete plant. We'll go here and dig this out and build it up. I got the concrete plant dug out where the pads are, where the thumpers are going to go for this one. Now this bunker is a little bit different. So as you can see, we come up here like we do normally, but back here we have a stone crusher. So this is what's going to turn the stone into concrete. And then we have a basic assembler in here. Now this one's just going to be set up to make just concrete. So when the stone comes in, it's going to get crushed into gravel. The gravel's going to come into here. This is going to turn it into concrete. And we're going to be able to dig it out. So this one's a little bit bigger. So you can see it goes back just a little bit more. But the whole system is set up down here. Now, I don't know how much we'll actually get out of this and how much this would be able to produce. If we're going to have to make more crushers or a bigger assembler later on. But for right now, this should be more than enough. And again, this is going to be really power hungry. So this is going to be one of the ones we're definitely going to have to work and look at for power. But it still has the engine and the hydrogen tank and all that stuff also. And it has the shields. But let me go ahead and build the two thumpers out front. Now this one takes less materials than the other thumpers do, because this one's designed just to pick up stone. But let me build those, and then we'll have this site set up, and then we'll just have one more that I'll need to set up. Okay, these take a lot quicker to build because they don't need as much stuff as the other ones do. So let's go ahead and look into these. So this one here, we don't have, it still has the filtered items, but because it's only supposed to do stone, it's not going to have any other options but stone. But we'll still move all this down. Do our white list. It's still going to scan and do all the stuff that the other ones did. And then we'll get the stone going, and then we'll make sure those are connected. Okay, so we have some concrete already, and we have some gravel already in the system. Add the stone. Turn these both on. Make sure they are working. That's working, so let's go ahead and turn those off. The rest of this should be working. Had the gravel muncher working earlier. So yeah, it's working. Yeah, and it's working. Okay, so everything's working. We'll turn that off to save us some power. I don't know how much battery we have. 52 days with it just sitting idle. But again, that's going to suck that battery up real quickly once we start getting this system going. So we're going to have to, this is going to be one of the ones we're going to have to get power to. Because this is going to be the main building blocks to our town here, or our base. Got one more to go, so let's head that way. So the last one we have is the magnesium, which is going to be back towards there. So we're going to drive all the way back the other way. It's already starting to get dark, so after this we'll be able to clear out the day. We got a lot done so far today, so we made a lot of progress getting all the stuff set up. So this one's just going to have the one thumper for the magnesium. I didn't see needing two of them right at the start, but we'll probably need to add more later. Once we're going to need more ammo and stuff. Let's head in here and get this started. Now that we have all of our mine sites up and ready, we just now need to get our main power and maybe some weapons online for these areas, and our outpost over there, maybe 1 or 2 guns for each mine site. I'm not too worried about the storage bunker right now. I don't think it's going to be a big target like these would be, because we could probably turn all the power off in there and not have any issues or anybody trying to go after it. There's nothing in there we're going to try to keep on, but we'll worry about that tomorrow. So let me go ahead and close this off, and then I'll head back to the outpost and call it a day. Not a bad first day out here. we've got all 5 bunkers located, dug out and ready to go, along with the main storage site. Every drill is in place, everything is set up. Problem is, none of it is stable yet. Each of the sites are running off of batteries right now, and the second we fire those drills up, they're going to drain really fast. So yeah, we've got the infrastructures, but we do not have the power to sustain it. Next time we'll fix that. We'll get real power online and actually start pulling resources out of these sites. Because right now, everything's ready, it just can't run. For now though, the Frozen Outpost is officially online. So stay tuned, from here on out, things are about to pick up.